RT's Sanchez Effect is continuing its special coverage of the Iran crisis. Rick Sanchez was joined by the top diplomat in Tehran, Abbas Araghchi, for an exclusive interview. He said Iran is better prepared to defend itself this time if the US or Israel decides to attack compared to the 12-day war in June last year. Take a listen.
We are prepared for a diplomatic solution as much as we are prepared to defend ourselves against any new aggression. You know, we were negotiating last time in June last year when they attacked us. Israelis first, followed by Americans. And we were negotiating when they did that. Now we are more prepared militarily to defend ourselves than before the 12-day war.
I get a sense that your talks with Mr. Kushner and Mr. Witkoff and the U.S. representative, Mr. Bradley, the Admiral, are going well. And my sense of that comes from the fact that Bibi Netanyahu immediately is calling an emergency meeting in Washington with Mr. Trump.
He doesn't like peace. He doesn't like diplomacy. He is a warmonger. Look, in the past 2 years, only, he has attacked 7 countries in our region. Can you believe that? 7 countries. And the last one was Qatar, an ally to the US, a friend to the US and the West. So he has no solution in his mind but war. And this is something that everybody should understand. And he has tried his best so far to drag the United States into war with Iran. And once he was successful, and the result was a disaster. They failed.
Iran has some interesting allies these days. Thanks to BRICS and the Global South community, the world has changed. I recently had a conversation with Mr. Lavrov. Mr. Lavrov, your colleague in Russia, told me that they are supporting Iran. But I'm not sure what that means in terms of were we to be in a conflict. What is your sense of that?
Well, first of all, before I answer your question, you mentioned the number of countries who are supporting us.
Yes.
Let me to tell you that last time when the US and Israel attacked us, more than 120 countries condemned that attack and expressed their support and solidarity with the Islamic Republic of Iran.
How many?
120, more than 120. Now more than 45 years that we are under the US sanctions, but we have survived. You are in Tehran, you can see by yourselves that life is going on in a very good way. And that is to some extent thanks to our good friends in the region and beyond.
And I have to tell you, I think this is important. And I'm very thankful for you and for other leaders in your country for allowing me as a journalist to come here. I don't think there's anything more important than being able to share with people who the Iranian people are, what their wishes are, what their complaints are. I have been surprised that people love the United States here. They love Americans. They are fascinated. They have been nothing but friendly and kind to me in every way possible.
Well, we have no problem with the American people.
It seems that way.
What is wrong is American government's policies. No, we are against their policies, their arrogant policies. With the people of the United States, we have no problem.
Today marks 47 years since the establishment of the Islamic Republic of Iran, an event that forever changed the nation's political course. Celebrations have been taking place in Tehran and across the country with an array of events in full swing, honoring the Islamic Revolution and the Iranian people. With events honoring the Islamic Revolution are in full swing, RT's Saman Kujuri reports from the capital.
47 years after the events that reshaped Iran's political landscape, the 1979 Islamic Revolution remains a defining turning point in the country's modern history. What began as protests against Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, whose US-backed rule was criticized for repression, corruption and abuses, quickly grew into a nationwide movement. Public anger peaked on Black Friday, September 8, 1978, when the Shah's security forces opened fire on demonstrators in Tehran, killing and injuring hundreds of civilians. Well, the crackdown meant to crush dissent instead intensified resistance and drew millions into the streets. The uprising ultimately led to the collapse of the monarchy and the establishment of the Islamic Republic on February 11, 1979, under Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini.
With the shedding of the blood of our loved ones, our revolution was affirmed. This revolution must remain alive. This movement must endure. And its survival depends on this bloodshed. Spill the blood. Our life will gain continuity.
For many supporters, the Islamic Revolution represented a break from what they saw as decades of political control, foreign interference and internal repression. Officials often point to historical grievances and past experiences to explain why independence became one of the revolution's main slogans.
Iran has never, throughout its history, been a colony of any country. It has always been independent and never under foreign rule. So why was independence the first demand? Because in the 2 centuries before the revolution, the Iranian people had a bitter experience. They felt their system lacked genuine independence.
The revolution's meaning is interpreted and debated in different forms. For some people, it represents independence and national self-reliance, while for others, it remains a complex and deeply personal chapter in the history of the country.
Independence, self-reliance, and respect for people are the greatest gains of the Islamic Revolution. I remember that as we approached the victory of the Islamic Revolution, the confrontations became much harsher. If our young people today study the history of the revolution and the history of this country, and in my opinion, they should go back beyond the Pahlavi era and see what was done to this country. They should see how this vast nation was reduced to what it is today, and how at every stage through various treaties, enormous parts of the country were separated from the body of this nation and lost. Then they will understand what the Islamic Revolution has accomplished. They will understand how the Islamic Republic during the 8-year war, through the sacrifice of the blood of thousands of this country's young people, did not give up even a single centimeter of its land to the enemy, and proved that under no circumstances would it negotiate over the country's soil.
In the military and missile fields, we have independence. And despite having economic problems, such independence can protect our country against foreign aggression.
This 47th anniversary comes at a time of heightened regional tensions and global uncertainties. Over the decades, Iran has faced major military threats, including the 12-day Israeli attacks on its positions, U.S. bombing of its nuclear facilities, and extensive international sanctions. Yet despite these assaults, the country and its leadership remain steadfast, resolute in defending their independence and refusing to bow to external pressure or the bullying of powerful countries. Saman Kujuri, RT, Tehran.